So, Horse Girl is the new Netflix drama slash sci-fi movie with Alison Brie, and I gotta say, this was a very interesting movie and a very what's the word I'm looking for? It had a lot of big ideas, and some of those big ideas didn't get explored nearly enough, in my opinion, but enough of it was still worthy of recommending that you watch. I think this is a movie worth checking out in large part to Alison Brie's performance. It is so nuanced and subtle and just like at times comical because there is a little bit of relief in the movie, which requires some dancing. And then there's just a lot of pathos, and you're going to get a whole different side of Alison Brie, at least from to my understanding, because I've only seen her do mostly comedic work. I've never seen her do a movie like this before, so this was a real turn for her, and I really, really enjoyed it. If you've ever seen the movie Welcome to Me with Kristen Wiig, it reminded me a lot of that. Not same storyline, but the character of just being very misunderstood, this woman who is alone and basically feels like she only has herself to depend on and is, just in a very sad and confused paranoia, I guess, in her own world, where it's just very heartbreaking to see. Both characters, Kristen Wiig and Welcome to Me and Alison Brie in this movie, are very similar in that. Except for Horse Girl is a completely different avenue it goes down. It goes into a sci-fi-esque kind of world. And that was a very interesting thing for this movie to do because it was very alarming and very scary at times, and it made me think, like, if we ever have had a bad dream or nightmares or things that are starting to question our sanity, I really hope it doesn't look like what this movie showcased, because it's terrifying. And Alison Brie, just plays it so well, and you actually are so, you feel so bad for her. You just want her to be heard and understood, and people are just, dismissing her as if she's nothing. And there's a moment in this movie, too, very much like, as well, in Welcome to Me, that both of the characters kind of just appear somewhere, and I'm trying not to spoil this, but they appear somewhere that they don't know how or why they're there, and they're completely naked. And it was just like, wow, that takes guts for an actor to do that, to bear everything. So for Alison Brie to do that in this movie it was pretty brave of her. And it was also very heartbreaking. Again, as the audience, you're just watching and you're just like, oh my God, I am so sorry that you're going through this. But at the same time, it was a bold move, and as an actor's choice to do that, it made sense and it fit the story very well. So I applaud her for doing that. This movie, you guys, there's a lot of things that aren't answered, and then sometimes things that get answered a little too much. So even though I'm the person who likes ambiguity and things to be left open to interpret for myself, there were some questions I wish had been answered, and then there had been some questions that were answered maybe more than needed to be. But for me, it was definitely something that was intriguing. This is definitely a movie that when it ended, I was okay with, because, again, I'm interpreting it for myself, but I kind of wanted a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's because I wanted to see just more of this woman and what she's going through. But of course it's a film, so it has to come to an end at some point. But maybe that's just me also saying that the movie had a lot of interest to grab from me, and I wanted to know more. So that's always a good thing too. I do think this is a film that won't be the best one that you need to check out right away. Check it out when you can, but it is definitely a movie I highly recommend that you watch, mostly, again, for Alison Brie's performance. You're going to like the other characters that support her throughout the way, like Molly Shannon does a really nice job in this movie. And there's some other characters that kind of play roles just in and out of the movie. But see it for Alison Brie. Definitely check it out for her. And again, going back to Welcome to Me really quick, maybe I'm alone in this, maybe I'm not, but does anyone else think that Alison Brie in this role in particular looked just like Kristen Wiig, just in general? I felt like Kristen Wiig and Alison Brie could be sisters, or even cousins at most. But it was striking. I kept forgetting that it was Alison Brie because it just reminded me so much of Kristen Wiig, which isn't a bad thing. It's a good comparison to have. But yeah, check out Horse Girl if you have a moment. Again, it's not one that I'm saying watch right now, but definitely if it comes across your radar or if you see it on your queue, give it a watch. I think there's a lot of good to take away from this, especially the acting. And it's just a movie about mental health worth viewing just to explore and see what people go through and why we shouldn't be so quick to judge somebody for having or feeling a certain way, because for them it is a very personal experience. And that's even a line that Alison Brie gives in the movie. She goes, "It means it's something to me." Like I'm not saying it verbatim, but she says something. Please don't, like judge it. It feels real to me, I think she says, and it's really heartbreaking to hear because she admits that it's only her feeling this way, but she's hoping somebody will understand. So yeah, that's my review for Horse Girl. If you like this review, click subscribe, comment below, tell me what you thought of the movie if you've seen it, and let's talk about Horse Girl because it is definitely a film worth chatting about. Yeah, thank you guys always for checking it out. See it. Thanks, guys.